Hello, everybody. Another great Saturday. Nice to see you. How are you today?
Vanakam Babaji, I am well. How are you? And I like your background.
Ah,
It looks like you're on the beach.
yeah. Okay, let's be on the beach for a change. So, how you been?
I've been well, Babaji, doing my mantras and my practice and working with the other sisters as well.
Okay, let's start with mantras for the session again. And today, hopefully, I can give you the mantras as well in writing. First mantra we're going to do is Ganesh Mantra. So, how you been anyway? While I'm finding all the details.
Oh, I've been well, Babaji, doing well. Yes, getting ready for the retreat. So it's been busy, but I'm doing well.
Ah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
The retreat will go well. You don't need to prepare anything.
I know you told me and that you'll be there with us in spirit too. So we always feel you. We always feel your presence.
Hey, don't worry. I'll be there with you.
Yes, we'll have a little guru altar for you, and we feel you there.
Yeah. So then you definitely have me there.
Yes.
Now let's start with Ganesh Mantra. Om Shreem Hreem Kleem Glam Gam Ganapadaye Namaha Om Shreem Hreem Kleem Glam Gam Ganapadaye Namaha Om Hreem Hreem Kleem Glam Gang Ganapadaye Namaha Om. The next mantra I like to do, as usual, is Kali Mantra, my lover. Om Cream 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 Dakshani Kalike Cream 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 Swaha Om Cream 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 Dakshani Kalike Cream 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 Swaha Om Cream 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 Dakshani Kalike Cream 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 Swaha. The next mantra we're going to do is Kama Mantra. Because we talk about sacred union, we talk about sacred sexuality, and so Kamakya comes in because it has to do with a lot with sexuality and the womb and the yoni. Shreem, 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 Clean. Kamakya Devi. Clean. Clean. Swaha. So this is a bit different from the usual one. I've just sort of looked at it to make a small change to it. Harim Shrim Klim Kamakya Devi Klim 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 Swaha Harim Shrim Klim Kamakya Devi Klim Klim Swaha. The next mantra we have to do always. Okay, once you've done Kamakya Devi, you have to do Matanji Mantra and Kamlamika, because you need wisdom, you need inner prosperity. If you don't have joy within yourself, you can never enjoy inner sexuality or union with another person. Because union is, you have to love yourself. You have to feel love within yourself before you can share love with others. Okay, but then you need wisdom first. That would give you strength. A lot of times we forget the feeling and we let the ego ride us. Here we want not the ego to ride us, but our navel and our heart. So your soul and your heart comes together to bring that happy feeling of joy within yourself. So you need wisdom for that. I'm Harim. I'm Shri Matangeshwari Swaha. Om I'm Harim. I'm Shri Matangeshwari Swaha. Om I'm Harim. I'm Shri Matangeshwari Swaha. Then we got to call Kamlamika within us to awaken, to give us a sense of love, to give us a sense of joy, the sense of happiness, the intuitive feeling that comes from within us. Shri Harim Shri I'm Kamlamika Swaha. Shri Harim Shri I'm Kamlamika Swaha. Shri Harim Shri I'm Kamlamika Swaha. Okay, now we have all of them inside of us, alive, giving us that inner beauty, inner strength, and the purpose for love. That's most important. If we don't feel love within ourselves, nothing that you do outside of yourself will ever bring fruit. Because everything is from within you. Okay? Now, let's sit down and say, okay, what do you all think about gymnastic sex? Which is the worst thing that has been taught by Neo Tantra, and I think for a long time, even from the 60s till now, everybody is focusing sex and then love, hoping that love will come out of sex instead of love and then sex. Let's have a discussion and then I give you my thoughts on it. Who likes to start?
I'll share, Babaji. It's Aja.
Yeah.
Yes, as you know, I've worked with you for many, many years, and you've taught this, and we continue to see that, especially in the West and now being fed back to the East through the neo-tantric teachings, that the path to joy and bliss and happiness and true connection is through sexual union, whereas we know that can't be true, or else there would be so much more bliss and joy and peace and raising of consciousness throughout the world, because there's a huge promotion of sex and sexuality, even quote unquote sacred sexual practices. So through the practices of first raising our vibration and awakening the wisdom on the inside, and having that true love for ourselves and our own inner union first, then we're able to have that deeper connection, that joy, that love, that bliss, and share it with another. We haven't seen any increase in the success rate of union by putting sex first, because it does tend to be the opposite, even under the guise of sacred sexuality. So I just want to tell you, we're so grateful for your work and what you're continuing to spread.
Basically, sex, gymnastic sex, or what better sex, or whatever they call it, cannot bring that union. Union is about, the fundamental thing to start with. We have even lost touch with ourselves. We lost touch of getting up in the morning, having a shower, using essential oil on our body, taking care of ourselves, loving ourselves. People say, oh, you're too indulgent, you're too much this, too much that. So you actually go away. Everybody's in a hurry. You try to go to work. You have to be at work at 8 o'clock, and then at 7:30, you're still in a rush trying to get to work. So you don't have enough time to take care of yourself beforehand. And the other thing is this, a lot of times, okay, I don't say don't have sex, but there is something known as worship before having sex, to worship each other. Now, it is a spontaneous thing. You can't say, okay, let's go and have a shower and then come back and love. That is mental. Spontaneous thing happens when there is some movement of energy between two people. That spontaneity is also missing, because a lot of people don't take care of the hygiene of their body. The body odor is one of the most important things. And I find, even with the alternative people, when you go alternative, doesn't mean you go into, dressing, not worrying about how you dress, and not worrying about your hair, like people cutting their hair very short or going bald, or a lot of various things that they do. It is not about, because they think, okay, we're now going back to nature. We just want to be natural. Natural is actually enjoying being a human. This rebellious attitude, this lack of consciousness, makes it impossible for you to actually enjoy spontaneous loving as well, or lovemaking, because you still need to have, okay, I want to make love, we want to make love, okay, let's go and have a shower. Let me have a shower first and then we make love. What is that? That means you're making an appointment. Things should happen spontaneously. And better sex don't teach you that because they don't teach you about, they don't talk about hygiene, they don't talk about odor. Then there's a lot of things like, imagine you're trying to kiss your partner and your partner's breath smells because she doesn't know about hygiene. Not so much hygiene. Okay, let's say she's very good in hygiene, but not inner hygiene. There's one, you need to have an outer hygiene. Then you need to have an inner hygiene as well, which means you need to clean your colon regularly. You see, with the yogi, they do that. Culturally, in the old days, inner hygiene, at least for in the Tantric tradition, cleanliness is very important. It's always been a priority for anyone who wants to be a lover. And as a lover, you make sure that you use fragrant oil on yourself, but then you got to make sure that, you see, like in India, if you look at women, they all wear jasmine in their hair. They tie jasmine and walk around. First thing in the morning, they have a shower, they put jasmine on their hair, and then only they start. Then they do the column and a few other things, and then prepare food. So they're always caring for their cleanliness. They always focus on their hair, the appearance of the hair, the fragrance that, whether you're a male or female, you need fragrance that suits you, will probably turn out, if it's not there, if the fragrance of your body does not suit you, it probably would not turn your partner out. So if you want your partner to respond to you, you need to be careful about yourself. A lot of times your partner may not tell you. As a healer, okay, when I do sound healing, I'm very close to the body. A lot of time I have to turn my head away when I'm breathing and then put my mouth on the spot that I want to sound when I'm doing the sound. And I breathe, I hold my breath while doing it. Imagine if I was to make love to that person. I could never make love to that person because the person would turn me off. And this happens in a lot of relationships. But they may not tell you why they feel funny with you. But the reality is, you turn them off if you're not conscious about your appearance, the way you enjoy being you. One of the fundamental things is this: a lot of them, your toilets are not made for washing. Your toilets are meant for toilet papers. Toilet papers is the worst thing to do in it so far as spontaneous lovemaking is concerned, which means you have to go and have a shower before you can make love. And if you make love without having a shower, then it'll be gymnastic sex, because then your focus is not on the person, your focus is not on the sensuality of the person. You have sex to keep your relationship going. It's not that the relationship is powerful and then sex is an additional factor in it. Remember that sex is only a very, very small part of your life. It is not, you don't have sex 24 hours a day, but you do breathe 24 hours a day. You do put food into your stomach at least 3 times a day. And your digestive system has to be working 24 hours. And on top of that, you never give it rest. Fasting is important. There's a whole lot of things you have to be unconscious about if you want to enjoy sacred union. Anybody else with any question?
Vanakkam, Babaji. This is Tiffany.
Vanakkam.
How are you? How do you recommend cleaning your colon regularly?
Like for me, what I do is this: every so often, I have what I call, I have a herbal colon laxative. I take that because I'm a bit lazy, okay, at my old age. But then I don't eat a lot of heavy stuff. I don't eat rich food at all. But the other one is to have, say, once a week, have enema. you can buy enema bags and you can use various, like just lukewarm water, or some people use coffee. You have to do a bit of research on that, because for a long time, I've not done that method. I've gone into the easier way of having laxative, because I don't eat a lot of heavy food.
Babaji, can I share also? It's Aja again.
Yep.
And so thank you for everything you share, Babaji. And the ladies that do practice Hatha yoga as well, those are the shat karmas, are the cleansing of the body in the way that the yogis did. So the Dauti, and which was the cleansing of the stomach, so clearing everything out of the stomach, which, as Babaji mentioned, you can do by fasting. The yogis used to do it by actually vomiting food out, and then the basti, which is what he's referring to as cleaning of the colon, are the enemas. And here in the United States, it's easy to go get colonics not often, but a couple times a year or seasonally, to cleanse the colon, in addition to the regular enemas and the herbal preparations that Babaji is referring to. Making sure that you are fasting occasionally still cleans out the stomach, the intestines, and the colon when you're fasting, and giving the body a chance to rest. And then the neti, the cleansing of the nasal passages. And then trataka, we haven't done any of those practices yet. Tiffany, I haven't done those with you all as far as the eye cleansing of the energy of the eyes, but the practice of the eye exercises, and then the Kapalabhati, which we've done some of the pranic breathing. So as Babaji is sharing those, yogic practices of cleansing, they are practical and energetic as well, because so they on all aspects, whether you're having your spiritual yogic practice or your spiritual tantric practice or your day-to-day living, to as he said, to cleanse the body on all levels. But as far as the colon, you can also do the colonics, is what I was wanting to really share.
Actually, there is a sequence of yoga exercises that would actually clean your colon completely clean until only water comes out. You drink salt water and do exercises, and then you virtually have to run to the toilet.
That's part of the Babaji. That part of the that's part of basti, drinking the salt water and then churning the stomach, and then the salt water. Yeah, it's one of the Hatha yoga practices. So that one is good too, Babaji.
Make sure you do it close to the toilet.
Yes.
Yeah, I took the easier way out. I took the easier way out of doing animals. But then since 68, 69, I stopped eating a lot of food. And my diet was absolutely clean. Because vegetarian in Malaysia and all that, in Asian society, we don't eat cheese, we don't eat. Even though, like in the West, even though you're a vegetarian, you consume cheese and a lot of products that are rich, like avocado, like regular avocado, that regular thing is what makes it a bit difficult too. Whereas if you eat just lentils and rice and vegetables, it's not so bad. You can clean it very easily.
Yeah, definitely. And not as often. You don't have to do, if you're not eating animal products. It tends to be a much easier process.
And if you do Annapurni mantra, that also makes your digestive fire better. Maybe we can do Annapurni mantra. I'll give you that. That also helps you with your colon.
Yeah, when we practiced Annapurna, sisters that are on, Babaji she's one of the one of the goddesses. She's a emanation of Ma Parvati, and she. We were practicing the other day. I was with Babaji, and I was hungry. And after we did the mantra, I was telling Babaji, like, my hunger went away. She filled me, so she offers her nourishment.
Yeah, because she fills your stomach with energy instead of. You see, thousands of years ago, we didn't need food. We didn't live on food. We lived on energy. And it's Kali Yuga where we started needing food.
Yes.
So if we can slowly go back, I mean, I don't say give up food. Like, a lot of people say, I've become a vegetarian and I've become an Aryan. I don't want to advocate any of that. I say, enjoy your food, but also give your colon a bit of rest. Respect your colon, because that is the one. It is very important, because a lot of people, I find, I can't even go near them because they smell. If they open their mouth, they smell. And it's very unfortunate because of the stress and that. You see, we're not living in a very harmonious situation. I mean, those of you who are living in America, your traffic is fast. There's a lot of stress element in there. Too many people, too much stress, and the cost of living is very high. They are all factors. But then if you go into, I don't think it's the population alone, because if you go to India, you go to the villages and you go to the shopping centers, small towns in the villages. The small towns are as populated as one of your little cities. One of your, few suburbs together will make the population of that one small town. They don't have that stress, though. They have grace. They enjoy living, and they don't. It's not a great tax on their colon or the digestive fire. So there is Kali's mantra, the hum that you do, also improves your digestive fire. Or you can do hum, or you can do Annapurni also. Sorry, not or. Also Annapurni mantra, but send the sound down to your belly. So focus on the navel. So every mantra you do have to travel to the navel when you go. Om Harim Shrim Klim Namo Bhagavati Maheshwari Annapurni Swaha Om Harim Shrim Klim Namo Bhagavati Maheshwari Annapurna Swaha Om Harim Shrim Klim Namo Bhagavati Maheshwari Annapurni Swaha. So when I do the, you see, if you want the sound to go to your heart like Matanji, you go that. Then you do the Harim. It's short. It's not very long when you, or Shrim, when you do Lovemaking mantra, you want in the heart. When you want the Matanji mantra in the third eye, you go Harim. So you don't do the long sounds. You don't do the Om like Om. You go The focus is in the M, not the O. Same with the HRI. Whereas with Annapurni, all the sounds The O has to go down to your navel. The HRI got to go down to your navel. SHRI got to go down to your navel. Clean, KLI has to go down to your navel. So you're sending the energy there and then filling your stomach with food, energy food rather than actual food. Anybody, any questions? Remember always, the minute I finish one, it's nice for someone to come in. So that will make the sessions more alive. Instead of me talking and talking and talking, I don't know what you want to learn.
Yes, Sisters, Babaji has asked that we all share more, and he's very open. I know sometimes you log on and are a little bit shy or don't know what to ask or share, but he's expressed to me to also share with you that he would like for you to ask more questions and to or just share comments. And I'll share one about the about Annapurna and well, it's not so much about Annapurna, but about eating. The practices that he is offering, Padatan Inner Shakti Yoga, is just Tantric, and he does talk about, of course, lovemaking, which is not negated by Tantra, but Tantra is not just sex and sexual union as presented in the West. But so when he shares about the cleanliness of the body and cleaning the colon and not overeating and all of those things, it is a very important part of this Tantric work. And so in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika is interesting because the first obstacle to yoga that's listed is overeating. So overeating is an obstacle to your yoga, to your yogic practice. So it just tying in together where he's going with all of this. So, we're talking about sex and sexual union and cleanliness of the body and it not being a gymnastic act, but being a higher yogic practice that they do all tie together, and Hatha Yoga is influenced by Tantra, and that overeating is the first one, as well as overexertion. So it's interesting, Babaji, talking about just gymnastic sex, and overexertion is another obstacle to yoga, or us talking too much, because we can, and I know I can sometimes. And I'm talking a lot now because Babaji has asked me to share as well. But so overeating, the number one obstacle to your yoga, according to Hatha Yoga Pradipika. So I just wanted to share that and then open up the floor for the other sisters to share or ask questions of Babaji, because I say it every time we're on with him. You're so blessed to have him here. He always reminds me, I'm 78 and I'm getting up there. So it's not so often that we get to have direct contact with a beautiful master like Babaji, who's been teaching for so long, and to ask him questions directly and receive his love and his transmission and his wisdom directly. So I'm just encouraging you all again to ask and share.
It hasn't got to be this subject only. You can ask anything on Tantra or your life.
I have a question. Salutations, everyone. Yeah. Salutations, Guruji.
Hello.
Hello. I wanted to ask about fasting. How often would you recommend to fast? And would you recommend fasting, like intermittent fasting or one-day fasting? And also, having a Vata imbalance, an Ayurvedic doctor in India told me actually to avoid fasting. So I'd like to know what's your take on this.
You see, with the Ayurvedic system or the Indian way of fasting, it's to starve. When here, I'm not saying starve. Give your colon a rest. Mm-hmm. That means you can drink water, you can drink juices, but you dilute the juice. Mm-hmm. Like when you make juice out of the juicer, if you have the slow juicer, it's good. You eat the food, but then if you use one of those $200 commercial or $100, in Europe, in Italy, it'll be about 80, 70, where the machine goes very fast and brings out the juice. You destroy the molecules in the juice. But even when they come out, they filter and come out, you have to filter further and drink that. So it's not about starving. It's about being kind to your colon. Like occasionally you find that, like today, I may get up and say, okay, I think my stomach is a bit, needs a bit of rest. So what I do is I drink a lot of water and not food. Or I have my breakfast, no lunch, and then I have dinner. So I give the stomach a bit of rest. Don't overeat, or not even overeat. Eating 3 times a day sometimes is not so great. But then once a week, you sort of go for a juice fast. And the other thing is you can do a whole month of, say, rice and lentils and vegetables, but make it into a porridge. Mm-hmm. Even a porridge, it doesn't hurt your stomach. It doesn't. The idea is not make it overwork, especially like eating raw vegetables and raw food, which you Italians are very famous for. That makes your stomach work a lot harder. Imagine when you put this vegetable in a juicer. See how much effort it takes to bring out the juice. Mm. So imagine your stomach is only the juices to the digestive juice to, and then also confusing the digestive juices. There are different digestive juices that break down different food. And when you have this, you don't have a proper combination of them. You also have an upset stomach. Mm-hmm. So it's not about being vegetarian means healthy. Eating correctly and combining the food and the taste, different tastes, sweet, sour, bitter, and all this different tastes got to be there. You have them all. The question is whether you want to be a god or you want to be a human. When fasting, you definitely don't want to be a god. So you want to make sure that you can do a month fast on porridge, which means you can combine all the vegetables, cook them on a slow cooker, but put enough water so that by the time the slow cooker is cooked, it becomes a mash porridge. Mm. And you have them, and you can make different flavors, and they can be beautiful to eat. And you eat small amounts, like 2 spoons once, another 2 spoons, a few hours later, another 2 spoons, a few hours later, it's okay. But you don't have to starve, put it that way.
Okay, thank you.
I'm against starvation.
Yeah, Antonella, you can look online to find Khichdi cleanse. That's what Babaji is referring to.
Yeah.
And so that, because I tend to naturally be Vata Pitta also. And so as he's mentioned it, Vata is not necessarily good to do all water fast or no food fast, and especially depending on what the activity level for the day. Here in the West, as Babaji mentioned, I know you're in Italy, but here it tends to be super fast paced, everything stressful in our head, mental, and that's not really necessarily the time to fast also. So knowing and feeling inside and your womanly intuition and feeling, is this the right time? I know that it's often taught to fast during Ekadashi and the 11 days after the full moon or the new moon. If your body doesn't tell you when to do it, you can pick those days also. But as he mentioned, being, if you have a Vata imbalance, the Khichdi cleanses are really good because you're still being really nourished, but your body is clearing out as well. So.
Yeah.
I think the Shivananda Yoga book has it, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm aware of those. I mean, I do the Khichdi.
And you are a Shivananda yogi.
So she already knows.
She does.
I am also.
Yeah.
I
the
do.
Trouble is this, whatever I'm talking about, most of you know. Okay, I'm just trying to remind you so that it comes on your, it comes back that, oh no, I have to do this. So every time I'm reminding you again to do something that you already know. Lena, you've been waiting for a while there with your hands up.
Good morning. Hi, Babaji. Thank you so much. This has been an amazing class. I've really been enjoying everything I've been hearing. Definitely when it comes to fasting and hygiene and just doing things correctly. I do have a question about the mantras when it comes to aiding the digestive system. Is also Ganesh Mantra. Is there any way to focus the sound on any part of the body to help with digestion as well?
No, Ganesha goes to the base chakra. He's sitting in the base chakra with Mother Kali. So he's only cleans, removes the obstacles in your spine or the cobwebs. He's not so much into the digestive system. The Kali mantra, you can do that, or you can do hum, that sound only. But I would prefer doing the whole Kali mantra, Annapurna mantra, to get that effect for your digestion, rather than doing Ganesh mantra.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. No, everybody's being quiet again.
I mean, Babaji, I can talk all day with you, so I want to be.
Okay, you can ask questions.
I want to try to encourage the women. Well, I really want to encourage them too. But I'll ask a question, because I've been sharing and not asking questions. When we do the way you offered Kamalamika today, I'm sorry, not Kamalamika, Kamika Devi today, was a little variation from how you and I practice it together. What is the difference between, so you and I will practice Om Hrim Krim Klim Kamika Devi Swaha, and today there was the added Klim Klim after Kamika as opposed to before. Is there any?
No, I have before and after. Before, basically, as I always said, you cannot feel your womb when you don't have joy and wisdom.
Yes.
You see, in the old days, this is the trouble. Like when you go to a lot of the yoga teachers, everything, they focus on what mantras were done in the old days, when human beings lived more in harmony with their environment. We don't.
Yes.
We are the super fast highway. So basically, even if you don't go out of your house, the energy of your environment, the environmental pollution is already on the superhighway. I mean, if you just turn on the news every day, you find there's war everywhere. There's stress everywhere. You and I may not feel the stress because we are dealing with thinking of whatever we are doing. At the global level, at the management level, at the political level, this stress is still there. So though we don't participate in it, we are still involved in it. Tiffany, you have a question.
Greetings, Babaji. My question is, when you mentioned earlier about the women putting the jasmine in their hair, are there any other locations on the body that you recommend putting the essential oils?
You can put between your ears, the back of your ears, and then in your hands, just above your palm, above, you can put some, and then you'll go right through your whole body.
Thanks.
I'm sure a lot of you do put essential oils in your body, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do, Babaji.
We do a lot with this work with essential oils and anointing the body.
It is very, very important to keep some always handy in your. Like now, I'm doing that in my palm, and then I just breathe it in. Just now I did with peppermint oil. So you can do various things like that, and they permeate your body, even though you may not smell it. But if someone comes near you, then they can feel it. They can smell it.
I have a question, Babaji. It's Lena. Well, in one of the calls, we were talking about practicing the priestess path and working to become a tantric, and about hair, because I know sometimes in the West, especially in the West, you do see lots of women who have shaved vaginal areas, shaved underarms, and things like that. And sometimes it's like, a lot of times in this culture, some people can be very judgmental. Like if you decide, like, I'm going to grow my hair out, it's protective. They don't really understand the sacredness of it. And I guess I was just wanting to know advice for wanting to, grow hair in different places where it's grown naturally, without feeling that peer pressure almost of shame of you should shave and things like that, because it is a lot of times in some parts of the West a little bit heightened on that end.
I think you have to forget about peer pressure, because you know what? They're always, if you go natural, most of your friends are not natural. They're going to tell you, oh no. I mean, you just do what you want to do. I have a long beard. My daughter doesn't like me to have the beard. Sometimes I have it really, and my wife doesn't like it. She likes it always trimmed. But I do what I want to do, because this is my body, and I don't feel like shaving is important. It is energy. Everything in you is energy. Everything is given to you for a particular reason. It's like saying, I mean, in today's society, they remove the appendix when it's okay, when they feel like it. They remove the lymphatic knobs because they have pain in the breasts, or they have pain in the chest. I mean, which is crazy. And then they remove the pubic hair, which is actually there for protection. They remove it. And same thing with the armpit. So you should not have to remove anything if you feel that you don't want to do it. But having said that, you also got to make sure it's clean. Because especially the armpit, if you have hair and you don't keep it clean, you're going to smell a yard away. That can be offensive to the people who are trying to be your friends. So, making sure that cleanliness comes first, but without removing things that should be there, especially your armpit hair and your pubic hair.
Hello?
Yes, Lina again?
No, this is Fabiana.
Oh, Fabiana, yeah. Fabiana.
Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
I would like to just share a tip on the armpits cleanliness. I start the day drinking hot water with a juice of half lemon. And then after I wash, I use that half lemon to pass under the armpits. And it is enough to be during the day. It will not make any odor, and it's actually very natural. But obviously, I don't expose my skin in the sun because the juice of lemon could stain the skin. Yeah. But it's very effective to use it as instead of using deodorant.
Oh no! Don't use deodorant. Make sure you wash it. And
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I don't use it. I use the half lemon that I squeezed for the water in the morning on empty stomach. I use that same half lemon to clean after I shower. I use it under the armpits. I just pass on both armpits, and it's very good. It's enough to keep in. And I'm a very active person, like working, so it's enough to keep it clean and smelling fresh.
That's good. Actually, thank you for that. I never thought of lemon.
That and the coconut oil works well too. Greetings, Yvette. I saw she muted herself. I wanted to let the sister Yvette know she's unmuted herself. Her phone is making some noise. I was asking her to mute. But I was saying the lemon, yes, and the coconut oil too, a combination. And there's the crystal. There's some salt crystals that you can use that work really well also, that you can rub on your skin, and it keeps and they're non-toxic.
I tried every single natural thing. The crystal is very expensive, and it didn't work for me. But
and I've heard that some people don't like it, and it works really well for me. One of my daughters doesn't like it, and she uses just coconut oil or lemon, and I use a combination of lemon and coconut oil and the crystal. So yeah, just you have to see what works for you naturally.
Have fun.
Yeah.
I love that. I've also heard of black coconut.
It's like a laboratory to find.
Yeah.
I love Ajisha. I love the crystals. I have some of the crystal deodorant, and it's absolutely wonderful. And
because it's not a true deodorant in the sense of deodorant. It doesn't have all the toxins. It's just salts. They're like natural salts.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I've never used the lemon though. I'm gonna try that. Thank you so much for offering that.
Thank you. Yeah, you see what happens when we have a discussion rather than me doing all the talking?
Especially with a bunch of women, we can sit here and probably talk all day.
That's why I think the mother gave me the job of helping women.
I have a question, Babaji. It's Lena again. Do you know there's something that just happened? Sometimes when I'm having a conversation with someone, sometimes my ears will start to ring if I'm talking. When everyone was laughing, my right ear was ringing. Do you know of any significance that means when your ears ring on like either side?
For me, the ear gets hot on either side, which means the person that's near me, the energy is not so great. So I try to avoid that.
Mm-hmm.
I avoid them. Or if I can't avoid them, I keep it to the minimum. Yeah.
Thank you. Sometimes if I'm like laughing or something, or someone's telling me something that like really resonates with me, sometimes my ears will ring a little bit, and I'm like, I wonder what that my internal self is telling, in a way, like what is she feeling or sensing in that way? I think it's just very interesting. It's a little different for everyone, but still, it tells you something.
Oh yeah. The beauty is having the difference. Lena, you want to ask a question again?
I'm sorry, I forgot to put my hand down. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So anybody else with any questions?
Greetings, this is Ananda.
Pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much for your offering. Greetings, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you for the offering. I think it was very resonant. Actually, this weekend I was staying with my parents for the Thanksgiving time or whatnot. Actually, I like to call it the harvest time. But I remember I was in the shower and I just took a really, 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 really long shower. And I remember thinking about how when I was younger, there was so much fear around that, like, oh, you're wasting water, you're doing too much. And I remember telling myself, like, I'm just going to spend the extra money and take my really long showers, because there is a lot of stress and there's a lot of rushing. And I feel like it definitely has an effect on your mental and emotional stability. So I just appreciate the confirmation. I did want to ask if you had any insight. I know there's a full moon coming in the solar eclipse. I know I was going to try to do some fasting around that time. And then again during the winter solstice. So I don't know if you had any insight about how we could use time and nature to guide our fasting, but that's it. And I just wanted to say thank you.
I think you have to know what your nakshatra is. That's, Vedic astrology, where they have a constellation that tells basically what your nature is. And then you can pick according to how the moon cycle goes and how you fast within that period. But it's winter solstice and summer, that's once, how many times a year? That's not too many times. But I think fasting, you have to do a lot more regular than that.
Okay, thank you. I won't say my whole chart on here, but I'll take that. Thank you.
You just find out what your nakshatra is.
What is that?
Nakshatra.
Nakshatra. Okay.
Ananda, I'll send it to you. You're on the Facebook group, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm in there.
Okay, I'll send it there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The other thing is, it's good to have people with their faces on, because I get only names at the moment.
Yeah, if you're unable to bring your camera on, you can bring your picture. Yeah. Place a picture. Babaji, before you do go, I know we're getting close to time. I wanted to ask a question about, since the topic that we began speaking with around sex and sexuality in Tantra, and we know and understand that that Padatan and true Tantra is about our own our own inner sexuality and balancing the masculine and feminine within before we explore that outside of ourselves, and not identifying with our sexual desires, but cultivating that into a loving and love-making worship. So with that being said, I wanted to ask, I know that a lot of people turn to and look to the Kama Sutra, though the Kama Sutra is not just a sex manual. If you actually study it, we know it is a manual for living, and at that time in all areas of life. So sex was just one of those areas. But within that manual, there are like the 64 arts and those things to cultivate those skills as a woman, and as well as sexual practices. So I wanted to know what your thoughts were on the Kama Sutra as a manual in pertaining to, which I know there is some quote unquote sexual gymnastics in there. However, I wanted to get your thoughts on it as a manual for living, which of course at that time and everything wouldn't relate and translate to this time. But just your thoughts on the manual in general and its value to us now.
Kama Sutra is a great manual as long as you don't look into the gymnastic side of it. All the sexual positions and this, that, and the other. Remember that sacred sexuality is not about sex. Okay? Sex in itself and positions and gymnastics. It's about your own sexuality, who you are. Is your male and female within you is dancing in harmony with you. And in Kama Sutra, there's a lot of parts that teaches you how to go there. And like my work is basically inner Shakti. It's all to do with your inner being, the divine, the spirit within you, rather than this physical body. But the reason why I talk about sexuality, sex, this is something that has, whether you're on a spiritual path or whatever path you're in, you're stuck in that dilemma. And so one part of it, you're striving for for spiritual growth. At the same time, you want a relationship. You want the union with a partner. So there's a big, that is an important essence to bring sex into the journey, but always remembering that it's not about gymnastics, but more, first and foremost, it's more about knowing your inner spirit. Are you dancing with yourself? Are you happy with yourself? So Paratan is about inner Shakti yoga. It's about an inner journey where you learn to balance and bring out that essence that you are. Reconnect with your soul. Reconnect with your actual being. Your body is not your being. Your body is only a vehicle that you have taken in this life. So a lot of you are women here. And as women, you have the feminine body in this lifetime, which is actually the highest. But because it is the highest, men wanted to control you out of fear. They successfully made you think that you have to compete with them instead of they competing with you. Because you are the power. Now you have to regain that power, regain that inner strength. Because they don't know how to rule the world. Only a woman would know the need of another woman. And Mother Earth is a woman. And so are you ladies today. You're all women. So it's important that you realize your sexuality. You realize the importance of sacred union. And realize that to keep the dance going, you need to love yourself. Love everything that nature gave you. Enjoy the beauty of everything nature gave you.
Thank you, Babaji. It reminds me of that, of you teaching us that to make every aspect of life a lovemaking, every moment a lovemaking, when we increase our capacity to share love and to be loving to each other, including our divine counterparts that we come into union with, and that starts within. So thank you so much.
But it always starts within. And
Yes.
Today's main theme was order.
Yes, starting within.
Okay. And when we're leaving, remember, body odor alone dampens, okay, intimacy. Okay. So you have to make sure that your breath can kill the desire, can stone dead. Okay. So do you want your relationship to always fail because you don't take care of your breath? And to take care of your breath is easy. Learn to fast, learn to move your bowels, clean your system regularly. Be conscious, that's all. Okay, I have one more person with the question.
Vanakkam, Guruji.
Vanakkam, how are you?
I am fine, thank you. So beautiful to see all of you here, and you especially, Guruji.
Yeah,
and so my question is, so when a woman reconnects with herself, her essence, is that when her Kundalini awakens?
When she truly connects with herself, and when all the energies within her is in harmony, then, you see, for a woman to have a Kundalini awaken is very easy. But also to get it really in a bad shape is also very easy. To put a lot of blocks on it. Because the Kundalini in the women, the Kundalini is only one, with a finger you can touch it from the vagina. the Kundalini energy or the Muladhara. That's how close it is. Unlike men, you have your Ida and Pingala and the perineum, whereas you have Ida and Pingala at the opening of your vagina. So that's how close all the energies are for you. So your body is a carrier of energy. The only problem is this: when you come from your head, when you start thinking like a man, acting like a man, then you reduce the chances of being. So now you've got to go as a lawyer, fight your cases with wisdom rather than with the brains. Did you hear me?
Yes, Guruji, but the thing is, I'm not practicing anymore. So,
You're not practicing anymore. That's good. Okay.
No, just because of this
coronavirus.
You have to be like the men. Yeah. So I don't want that.
Okay. Then how do you practice them?
No, I'm doing other things.
Okay. So remember that as women, it's easy for your Kundalini to awaken. Very easy. All you have to do is stop being too much in your brains and start enjoying being in your body. And you can feel the energy each time you do your bija mantras anyway. Don't you feel them?
Yes.
Yeah. So you got to keep practicing. You got to do 2 hours a day. Then eventually you'll find that she will wake up. When all the blockages are removed, you'll find that she wakes up very easily.
Thank you, Guruji.
Pleasure, dear. Okay. I think we've come to our time. And so thank you, everybody, for being here. And thank you for participating. Thank you for asking questions. And I would definitely... last week I said, what do you all want to talk about? You should write to me so that I can choose a topic according to what you all desire to learn. Otherwise, I'm going to just call a subject. And I think it's time we go back to doing Mahavidya goddesses again. Don't you all agree?
Yes, Babaji.
Yes, Babaji.
Yeah.
Let's start doing the Mahavidya goddesses from next week for a few weeks on a row. Okay?
Yes. Thank you so much, Babaji. As always, we love you.
Love you. Love you all.
Thank you, Babaji. Love you.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Babaji. Give thanks.
Okay, next week when you all are here, think of having your faces available to me so I know who I'm talking to, huh?
Okay.
Because because a lot of you I don't know personally. I haven't met before. So it's nice to have a face when you're talking. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Bye all.